indeed to both teams.
Yeah, being called out right there. So on a quick note, once again, big shout out to the channel in Here's the New Earth. Go to DreamHoN Space Party if you want to actually talk about the games that we're casting here in HonCast. Xander K, of course, the community manager of S2 Games, he's leading the way with that and asking questions constantly. A chance for you guys to win some prize, some gold coins even. So definitely, go chill there and check it out and have some fun just chatting about the games at hand. So, but the match has started, as you said, and as you can see on your screen, the blind band phase taking place, of course. And there we go. It is finishing. So Wild Soul Dark Lady, blind band here by tdM, followed up by Jeremiah Ophelia for Fnatic. So actually both Tundra and Pebbles left open. Not too often we see that here.
Kind of funny that I just talked to and asked him about the Wild Soul band, and it comes out, as well as Dark Lady. Jerez, like I said, Fnatic, they really, really hate Jeremiah. They always ban him. They also always ban Parasite, but they didn't blind ban him, so I'm really curious to see if Minus actually locks him, because like in banning pick, I always see Fly ban Parasite. So that's one of the interesting things about this mode is you could kind of throw people, and he's not going to. So he's going to go with the these blind bans are coming, or sorry, these locks are coming out very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through them really quickly. We've got Glacius, Nymphora, Panda, Tempest, and now Keeper of the Forest. And with one more left for Fly, and we'll see what he does. But yeah, so Parasite will probably be banned in an actual banning phase, but I was hoping to see a Parasite in this game.
Yeah, Fly has definitely made the point that he is not a fan of going up against that hero, if at all possible. So, but yeah, as you put it, with the final lock here, highly doubt Fly would be the one to lock it. So most likely will be taken care of in the banning phase, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, as you mentioned, the final lock coming up here from Fly for Fnatic Great Call. But yeah, seeing Pandemonium here in the locking phase, of course. Mentioned the last match that we did cast when they played against Easy Breezy in that game number 2 where the 5 Energizer strat worked oh so well. They actually picked up Pandemonium. Again, that was a little bit more of maybe along the lines of them having fun with it, but also maybe making the point that they're actually taking Pandemonium as a hero seriously somewhat, and obviously, again, locking it here. So we'll see if he becomes a pick, and Monkey King, in fact, even the final lock here from Fnatic Great Call. So some interesting locks actually coming out from Fly.
Yeah, now Fly is a great Panda. I know he's been kind of hailed as the Panda player of that team, and he also likes Monkey King. And Monkey King's been one of those heroes lately that's kind of like your new Dark Lady, or like your new Silhouette. It's like, oh no, now they got Monkey King, what do we do? I mean, this hero has a lot of potential. I mean, it's pretty much strong at any point in the game. You think about like when he's level 3, he can burst down like pretty much anyone in mid, except for some maybe really big tanky heroes. And while these bans are coming out so fast, I can't even speak of them. We got Armanon Zephyr, Behemoth, Tundra, Luna, and then finally Pebbles. So Fly does ban both Tundra and Pebbles. Parasite's still on the board, mind you, and then tdM goes ahead and first picks Silhouette.
Yeah, this picking phase, it's going very interesting, especially on the fact that, again, these are 2 top-tier teams that are going at it here. Maybe if this was a little bit more of a undervalued match, or not, that's kind of the wrong wording, but if this is a little bit more inexperienced match between 2 inexperienced teams, then wouldn't be as crazy. But we have some very, very interesting bands going on top of the locks already. And, Zephyr is definitely one that stands out to me as being a very interesting band by Fnatic. Now, I know Limp likes to actually play a lot of Zephyr. Perhaps, maybe Fly has been doing a little bit of research, despite what No-Tail was saying, and kind of scouting out tdM a little bit, that they've been running some Zephyr lately. But no Parasite ban on top of that. So you're making that point. We'll see if maybe tdM looks to pick up Parasite as a result, or something else happens. So
I could even see Fnatic picking up Parasite. I know Fly plays a good Parasite.
Yeah.
It's just a hero that he just hates in the game, I think. But no, like I said, tdM, I think, did the research. They banned both Luna and Behemoth, and those are like really 2 core heroes in the strategy of Fnatic. They do obviously have other things up their sleeve. I know they love Pyromancer as well. That was one of the things I was going to talk about. They love Pyro, and I love Pyro. I think it's a hero that has a lot of potential, a lot of burst, and it's very good against free farming agility carries like Mage, Bane, Dark Lady, and Silhouette, because they don't get all the HP in the world. Even though they could do a lot of damage late game and they can farm really, really quickly, they still don't have that much HP. So it's easy for burst heroes like Witch Slayer and like Pyromancer to take them down.
Yeah, so definitely some very good picks there coming out with the Pyromancer Bubbles. Follow up, we got Fade to go with the already Silhouette. So tdM just starting out strong themselves, and somewhat of an aggressive yet squishy lineup, as you're pointing out right there. And now with the final pick, they got about 50 seconds of overtime left, so still plenty of time but also, you know, many options, of course, left on the board. So again, this is what makes it intriguing, though, with this lockpick mode. That's what it's called. With the final regular pick here, you know, always have to keep in mind with the lock pool, you know, what you think you're going to end up getting and how you're going to adjust the lanes because of that. So again, we'll see how My Nuts for Trademark Esports decides to finish it off here in the regular picking phase. But yeah, I'm intrigued by that lock pool, man. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to get at least one of those really fun heroes in there, either the Monkey King or the Pandemonium, and then go with the others. Plague Rider to finish off here for tdM as far as the regular picking phase goes. And now it's back to Fnatic to choose.
Yeah, I gotta say, My Nuts really loves Fade. Like he's always loved that hero. Ever since way back to Lions, and even before that, he would draft Fade a lot of the time. And so no surprise here. This might actually look in the makings of some kind of support Fade if they do like a Suicide Plague Rider, and then like a support Fade tri-lane bottom. I mean, they could also solo in mid, and that's probably what they'll do. But they have options here, and that's the important thing. Yeah. I got to shout out real quickly to Riser. He said in the Scrim Skype chat, he said, I think it would be really funny if My Nuts drafted Valkyrie Electrician lane and dual lane against No Tail.
That's definitely more of an inside thing, but to say the least, No Tail especially has been stressing how much he hates Electrician and even Valkyrie on top of that. So, yeah, that would actually be pretty good. A dual lane Electrician Valk just to really rub it in. Not going to see that here, though. We'll see if some of those mind games are brought up later on. But, okay, some interesting stuff to finish off here. Malakin, the final pick from Fnatic Raid Call. So they're going a little bit more old school themselves. And, oh, my God, and for a Monkey King there to finish off after the Tempest and then Glacius eventually for Trademark Esports. So let's look at that Fnatic lineup, though. So they finish off with the Malakin. Then, of course, with the Lock Pool, they're getting in for a Monkey King. So what do you make of Fnatic's lineup?
It's interesting. At first, I was like, well, that's a lot of farm to go around on all those heroes, but not really. I mean, yeah, sure, Malakin, Monkey King both need farm. Bubbles is going to need a little bit. Pyromancer looks like it's going to be a straight second support Pyro, so he's not going to be getting a portal key anytime soon. I think it's a good lineup. I think they're a little bit weak in the laning phase. Nymph4 is usually very weak in the laning phase. If they go heads up against a tri-lane, which they probably won't, I'm guessing they'll do something like a dual lane top and maybe a dual lane mid. Like a Pyro, I'm guessing like a Pyro Malakin top, an Amphora Monkey King mid, and like a Suicide Bubbles, or something like that. I mean, they have options. On the Legion side, it's pretty obvious, and actually Pablo McDad playing that Plague Rider, he already bought boots, but then sold them before the 15 seconds was out, trying to get that ward placed as fast as he can. And we know Fnatic, they love to guard that pole, so it's going to be a race. Plague Rider is very fast, and that little pickup of the boots early on from Pablo McDad might actually be the saving grace if he can plant this ward safely and get out.
Yeah, so we'll see if Plague Rider is able to do that. You see him running up right here
very close.
Going. It is going to be very, very close. I do have a graphics bug. I apologize. I'll get a restart here soon, but I want to make sure not to miss any action. But there we go with the ward of sight. I don't think they saw him place it. I mean, I think that was actually very, very close. So, yeah, in fact, they're going to actually go ahead and pause the game for us. So there we go. That takes care of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick restart here myself, just like some of the players, of course, having a little bit of a graphic issue here. So
Sure.
Did we want to switch the screen before I go ahead and restart the game here? Just to make sure. Yeah, there we go. Back to me. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that real quickly. So obviously not missing any action. While taking care of this, the lovely Han music, the outro music. I always love that. The do-do-do-do-do-do. Then there's always the rage quit. It seems to fit better most of the time.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't stress how important that is of what Pablo McDad did. And
yeah.
I mean, they gave him a ward immediately. He bought boots immediately and ran up there as fast as he could. And look, Fnatic basically brought all 5 up here. I mean, Bubbles, I think, is going to maybe move back down to the bottom. But that's what Fnatic does, and that's what good teams will do, is they will try to defend that pole. But if you can somehow get up there quick enough before them and place it, and only, like, I feel like if it was any other hero that didn't have the fast movement speed, and if he didn't buy boots, he probably wouldn't have made it. So those little things really do add up and make a difference.
Yeah, that was very, very effective there for the Legion team, and they're going to be able to hopefully, or you would think, at least be able to take advantage of that. Of course, we are back in the game now, as you can see, so... and the players are joining up themselves. But yeah, and again, it goes back to as well, I don't think Fnatic necessarily spotted it. So at least off the bat, or again, just weren't even able to prevent him from putting it down. So That's definitely big plays coming out right there from Plague being played by Pablo McDad, as you put it. So as far as the laning phase is coming about, obviously sitting in a pause here, so we'll see if some adjustments are made. But it looks like we are going to see the Plague Rider side lane solo, of course. At the Suicide, Tempest going to be up here to deny, but probably going to head to that Legion jungle. You have your Fade Glacius mid, actually, and that leaves Silhouette to take care of the bottom lane as far as going solo. So lane's coming out here for the Legion team. What do you make of it?
I think it's smart. I think they realize there's going to be a Suicide Bubbles, like, no matter what Fnatic decides to do. An interesting ward placement coming out from Fly already. He's going to put that in the mid lane. So that's going to try to give them a little bit more vision, a little bit more heads up of what's going on, so they can maybe get some kills. Actually, I don't really predict them getting too many kills with Malikan and Nymphora. It's not really a kill lane. It's kind of more sit back and farm lane. But that's why I expected. I've seen them in the past do Monkey King Nymphora, and that worked really well because Monkey King has so much burst, and he gets the mana feed from Nymphora. But they're going to go ahead and give him the complete free farm and easy lane up here top. Plague Rider already doing a good job. They actually have double. I didn't even think about that, but they have double deny coming out from Plague and Tempest. So Plague's going to be up here. Suicide, a good dual lane mid between Fade and Glacius, double stun as well as the slow, and then Silhouette should do just fine against his bubbles. In fact, he should really crush him.
Yeah, I just love seeing this top lane, as you put it. They have the double deny, so it's only a lonely soldier and an archer that go up here. But Monkey King will gladly take what he can get out of it. He gets, of course, both of them. And, ooh, he actually missed that one. So he only got the one creep kill even. Era, man, what is going on? You're missing creep kills.
He's rusty.
He's only 50% now. Yeah, a little bit rusty, I guess. No, I'm sure he'll be fine, though. As he said, probably going to have that free farm there at the top lane. But, yeah, you're mentioning those Silhouette should just have a very good time against Bubbles down here. Of course, Silhouette being played by Noob G, going up against Trixie on Bubbles. Always fun to watch Trixie, so we'll see how he does ultimately fare. But again, going to maybe be a difficult time for him at that bottom lane. Middle lane, a lot of harassment taking place right off the bat. You see Malikan below half life. Glacius took a bit of pressure. He's already eating some regen. So maybe expect this middle lane to be very active here, Trout.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be hard to get a kill on this Malikan, but definitely it should be an easy kill onto Nymphora if they get, in the right position. And the thing about this lane is if they go on Nymphora, which they might right now, I feel like they were going to. Yeah, there they go. So the stun comes out, Glacius comes in with the freeze, as well as the slow. A lot of auto attacks come in, but the very tail end of that stun from Nymphora actually hit Fade. So, wow, well played by Fly there.
Yeah, that was the saving grace, no doubt. I mean, it probably would have been at least 2 more auto attacks, but very likely could have got them off if it wasn't for that Zeal stun hitting on the back end, as you put it. So that's definitely a good heads-up play from Fly, but as we see, again, right off the bat, a lot of pressure being put out, but it really comes down to positioning. So if Nymphora, maybe if she does get a little bit overextended going in there for a deny or for some harassment onto Fade, she can get caught out with the Burning Shadows. Then, of course, Glacius can easily follow that up. So needs to be really careful about that. But at the same time, I mean, Malikan with that W, with the Enchanted Flames, that is, if they do put up some pressure on Nymphora, he can stand his ground. In fact, you see right there, you see try to land the Zeal Stun on top of the sword throw. However, Fade was able to sidestep the Zeal Stun at least and take minimal damage from that. But, again, a lot of pressure coming up here in the middle lane here.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the lane to watch in the game right now. Let's look at their early creep farm. I mean, Fade is at 11-4, Malikan's at 12-0, so pretty even there. A couple more denies there for Fade. And then Glacius, obviously doesn't really have anything. In fact, doesn't have anything, as well as Nymphora, so that's pretty standard. The key factor here is the Tempest is getting complete free farm in the jungle. And he could actually gank this this Bubbles fairly easy because they actually don't have a ward spawning ganks from the jungle, nor do they have one blocking the pull. They probably don't even realize that because most teams, like 9 times out of 10, teams will just put a ward there to block the gank and put a ward there to block the pull. Yeah. And so teams just assume that they already have a ward there, so they don't even try. Hopefully they realize that though, because they can actually use that pull to their advantage, and get a lot more farm out of it.
Yeah, both use the pull and set up some ganks as you're putting it. So, but again, us having God Vision, it makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to tell that. But we'll see if tdM, Trademark Esports, picks up on that and definitely take advantage. So here we are coming up to getting closer to the 4-minute mark now. Still no Bloodlust kill, but again, we've had a lot of pressure, especially in this middle lane. As far as the bottom and top lane, not as much. It's just coming down to more farm game. And speaking of that, let's take a closer look at the numbers early on. We have a Monkey King being played by Eras, 18-12. And you compare that of 19-6 on Silhouette. Again, being played by Noob G for trademark. So it seems like Silhouette having slight advantage, but actually it's really just head-to-head as far as the creep farm goes for those two heroes and competing with one another. Which is more dangerous, would you say? Would you say it's the Monkey King's favor or Silhouette's?
The other thing to think about too is that when you're comparing those two players CS or those two heroes CS, is Silhouette is in a 1v1 matchup right here. This is Silhouette versus Bubbles, where Monkey King definitely has an easier route because he's got the extra hero there, and some actually initiation coming on to the mid lane. Wow, Fade almost dies there. Caught the tail end of it, didn't really see what happened, but yeah, we're comparing Monkey King to a Silhouette who's just going solo, and actually Monkey King's gonna get a solo kill here. Wow, that is gonna be very good for Era. So well done there by Era to get that Bloodlust. And that's going to jumpstart his farm immensely.
Yeah, so that kind of answers that a little bit as who would be having the better time. And, of course, with that GPM chart now pulled up, as you can see, is after that Bloodlust kill, Monkey King's GPM definitely does shoot up. But, the point you're going at, Silhouette isn't a 1 versus 1 where Plague-Rider in a more of a, or I guess Monkey King is really kind of in a 2 versus 1. Obviously, Pyromancer's spending a lot of time in the jungle, but at least his presence is definitely there. And he just hit level 2 now. He just actually cleaned up the creep camp. I believe it was double stacked with the assistance of the creeps, of course, as he did with the pull. But still, obviously a little bit under leveled there. But again, I guess really not too surprising. On that note, Plague Rider's still level 3, obviously with no creep kills. And then you have a Bubbles who's level 5 and has 12 creep kills. So at least for Bubbles, having a much better time than the Plague Rider on the other hand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, it is a 1v1 matchup. I'd like to see Tempest gank somewhere. I think you really can. He is level 6. He's probably going to buy his boots here in the well. Hopefully he does. He doesn't have money for a TP scroll, but there, he does go ahead and buy his boots. Maybe someone will give him a TP scroll? No. Okay, so I'd like to see some ganks come out from Tempest. If they get a gank on Bubbles, the good thing about Tempest is, actually some aggression coming in from Silhouette. Can he get the Death Lotus? He can, so he gets a solo kill onto Trixie. Very, very well played there by Noob G.
Yeah. Chasing him down. I was watching some middle pressure happening at the same time. But of course, lo and behold, the kill happening at the bottom lane. As you mentioned, the Death Lotus nuke and sound alike going off and making sure to snipe and guarantee the kill on to Bubbles. Middle lane, though, Pyromancer is currently visible. Look at the top lane. Look what Era's doing on Monkey King. Diving this Plague Rider all the way to the secondary tower. Puts the combo off. He misses the Wanjin Slam, though. And Plague Rider turns out the Contagion. Actually, Era's in a little bit of trouble. He should survive. Back to the middle lane, though. More pressure being picked up as we do see Fade trying to get away. Tempest coming in, though. Tempest is level 7. If he can get a good ultimate off here. Malakin to launch up. There's the ultimate. Locking down Malakin. He'll be stunned out, but it should be enough for delay time. And yes, it is, to get the kill onto Malakin right there. Fade does end up staying alive, of course. Oh, no, Fade actually ended up going down to Hani just prior to that. So Pyromancer was actually able to pick him off just prior. So I guess he came back in and didn't realize that was going to be stopped. But anyways, they got the kill on Malakin, so that's a good thing. But, losing Fade definitely hurts as well.
Well, I mean, Lim really did the right thing. He had to stand there. He knew that they didn't quite have enough DPS to really take Malakin down, especially when you use an ultimate like Tempest Ultimate. You're going to want to get a kill out of it. It'd be really horrible if you did that and didn't get it. So he played it well. Unfortunately, I think if I was my nuts, I would have actually, since he knew that he was going to really only black hole one person, I mean, obviously he was trying to go for more, but I think he could have actually positioned himself a little bit further away to be like a little bit out of harm's way from Pyro's stun, or perhaps even Nymphora's stun. So not really a misplay there, but I think he could have done just a little bit better. But nonetheless, they got a kill on Malakin, and that's good.
Yeah, and speaking of that, he of course is now level 6 himself, and Malakin's farm, despite that death, at around 235 gold per minute now, after even getting a couple more creep kills right there. So he's going to start recovering once again after the death, but he is definitely faring better than Fade, on the other hand, being played by Limp, who is, of course, just now around the 200 gold per minute mark again, that death. Slowing her down as well. Nymphora going to actually bottle up the regen rune at bottom, or at least going for it. She will end up getting it. Of course, that is Malakin's bottle, but Fly may end up going down right here. In fact, yes, he will be picked off. Great support coming out from the Legion team. You see Malakin coming over trying to assist, but he just wasn't able to get there nearly in time. And Nymphora goes down, so some good assistance from Nymphora, but it ends up resulting in her death, of course. Now, she will have that regen rune bottled up for Malakin when she comes back eventually, but still, the death hurts.
Yeah, that's definitely a very, very good kill. And good job by Fade for stunning. He knew that the Nymphora was definitely dead when he went ahead and stunned the Malakin to prevent any other kind of further action to happen onto his team. So good heads-up play there by Limp.
Yeah.
And now Bubbles, we actually see roaming around here in the mid lane. Maybe you can try to get a kill out of that. That's exactly what you have to do with Bubbles, by the way. You hit your level 6, and you use your level 6 abilities, and that's what he's going to do here.
Yeah, use that kill field, Curse is there to be used. In fact, so you see him diving Fade completely. Fade, though, activating his ultimate and going to go in. In fact, may turn this around. Bubbles Trixie in a lot of trouble. The Song of the Sea, not going to be nearly enough. He eventually goes down right there. Glacius puts a freeze on Malikan. Actually, Malikan may be in a little bit of trouble, but no, Fade stun is not going to come off cooldown in time, so he will end up surviving, of course, using the regen right after. Bottom push in the meantime as well from Silhouette and Tempest while this is happening, so the Bubbles death right there playing a huge role right now in this game here in favor of Trademark Esports.
Well, I think tdM knew something was up. I mean, Bubbles didn't show up back to his bottom lane. They probably even expected the gank in mid from Bubbles, or maybe even a gank top. But either way, they knew that Bubbles was gone. They took advantage of it, and they pushed that bottom tower very well. Top tower also a push is coming out from Pyromancer as well as Monkey King, and this tower will most likely fall. So some good trading there, but overall, I think tdM, having the kill on the Bubbles got the better deal of it.
Yeah, definitely big for them. Monkey King, though, as you put it, gets the top tower kill, and his GPM continues to be not the best of the game. I apologize. I actually thought it would be, but no, Silhouette actually having the better time. 405 gold per minute compared to the 370 about for Monkey King. So Noob G, fantastic job down here, of course, having that hero kill. Well, I don't know, I guess they both have hero kills, actually. So just doing better when it comes to creep farm, and yeah, taking a closer look at those stats, and Silhouette's, yeah, she does have actually about 10 more creep kills than Monkey King, so that actually makes sense. So her GPM looking that much better, but she's got her early sustainer after the Ghost Marches. She even went in early Mystic Vestments here, so keeping in mind about it, a lot of the early magic damage. Now, of course, you do got Monkey King is really pure physical, and then Malikan, who has a good amount of magic earlier on, but definitely will start becoming more and more physical, of course, as the game advances. But still, Mystic Vestments worthy investment.
Yeah, I think it's a great pickup. The only thing I don't like is I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Ghost Marchers, but I don't like them on Silhouette. I just think Steam Boots just makes her have so much more late game potential and a lot more farming potential.
Yeah.
But to each their own. I know Noobg really likes to go Ghost Marchers on that hero. So actually, the stun coming out from Fade, but it does not look like they're going to dive that tower in smartly. They shouldn't. But there are 5 heroes grouped up on the Legion side, pushing this mid lane, and I think they want to try to execute something here.
Yeah, well, you got 5 heroes in the middle lane, so some mid-wars action going on from Trademark Esports. Yeah, you would definitely like for something to happen, because this is a lot of downtime where in the top and the bottom lane are being farmed by solo heroes on Monkey King and Bubbles right now for Fnatic Raid Call. So Trademark Esports needs to, at the very least, get this tower kill to really make this worth it, you would think. They're going to start applying a lot of pressure. You see dropping about half-life. Will have to fall back, though. Malikan currently invisible after he uses the Invis rune that was bottled up, and actually Trademark Esports going to fall back. So like I said, I mean, they used quite a bit of resources there to try to make something happen, whether it's a kill or a tower kill. They don't get either. And while that was happening, both Bubbles and Monkey King continuing to increase their farm. So pretty good situation happening there for Fnatic Raid Calls. You see Bubbles, in fact, finishing his Steam Boots at the side shop, and Monkey King actually has about 1250 gold saved up currently with the items that he already has. So.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you how valued these long-range nukers are, and their range isn't exactly that long, but their nukes are good. I mean, Pyromancer, even level 4, is able to clear out this wave quite easily with the help of Malikan's sword throw, and then you put in 4 as Zeal stun on top of that. He is leveling it up, by the way. So it's just very good counter push, and that's very important, and Fnatic realizes that.
Yeah, you see at the top lane, the Elementals are out here from Tempest, doing a little bit of push. Monkey King sitting all the way back at his tower as a result of that. Middle lane, good Burning Shadow stun hits both Malikan and Bubbles, and actually will help Fade get away with what seemed to be apparently some pressure attempt to be put out here from Fnatic, but not nearly enough for the catch. Fade taking a little bit of damage there from the sword, but going to be more than fine. So Tempest, again, pushing that top lane with Plague Rider. Not going to really go for a total of it, though. Pyromancer, though, off to the side. Going to get caught out. The Glacial Blast being used. Now, Tempest does have an ultimate, but wouldn't dare use it right here. And actually, they may now be in a lot of trouble. Plague Rider is not level 6 as well. That's kind of a big deal. He's going to get stunned back in by Monkey King. And as we like to say, Monkey King doing this Monkey King thing and getting the kill there on the Plague Rider. Tempest is going to be able to Homecoming Stone out before he gets pressured, but Plague Rider going down, unfortunately, for tdM right there.
One thing to note, though, is Minus playing Tempest actually did not level up his Glacial Blast to level 4 and chose to get Meteor instead. And had he got that level 4 Glacial Blast, actually, I really think they could have got that kill on Pyro. I think Plague still would have fallen, but I think they would have got the kill on the pyro because he would have got stunned for a third time, and Blake would have been able to, in range to nuke that. So it's a little bit questionable, honestly. I don't understand the leveling of, because it really is like 10 times better from going level 3 to 4 because you get an extra stun in there. So yeah, I don't know. I would normally wait to get Meteor until level 10. He is level 10 now, so we will have the level 4 Glacial Blast now. So.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I just assumed it was a line of sight thing, to be honest. I noticed that the third one didn't go off, but yeah, no, he only had the 3 levels, so by going the Meteor instead. But as he put it, as being level 10, now he has the level 4 Glacial Blast, so now he will get the 3 stuns as long as he stays in the line of sight. But yeah, missed opportunity there from tdM and a good counter coming out from Fnatic. Silhouette, though, she does continue to lead the way, 425 gold per minute. She's on her way to a Nullstone here. Now, what do you think about a Nullstone in this matchup? Do you think it's actually a really good choice? And honestly, looking at the Hellborn team, they don't have many single target abilities, so that could be good.
You have to get it, actually. Against the Monkey King, it's like perfect against the Monkey King. And actually, double damage Fade coming out, getting a solo kill and TPing instantly. Very well played there by Limp, but I was very fortunate, actually, that he happened to run into a Bubbles there. So unfortunate for Trixie, if you're looking at it from his from his perspective. But yeah, no, the Nullstone pickup is kind of essential when you're playing against a Monkey King. I mean, the ability to be able to nullify that vault, and since he can cast it twice, is really a huge deal and totally takes away his effectiveness if he does in fact try to go on you. So I love the Nullstone pickup. Yeah, there is a lot of CC damage coming out from Pyromancer stuns, and I pretty much every single time I see a Bubbles, I'm like, that should scream Shrunken Head.
Yeah.
Because you cannot get out of it any other way without being stunned. And so I would hope to see him still go Shrunken Head after this Nullstone. Maybe go Nullstone, Porky, then Shrunken Head. That would be perfect. If he does that, he has my seal of approval.
The Trough seal of approval, that's what all these players are going for here when they're competing on Honcast. Monkey King, interesting build himself. Want to get your thoughts on that. Going the Helm of the Black Legion after the Steam Boots and Ring of Teacher early on. So going more defensive minded early on here.
I think it's fine. It's going to give him... He also went Steam Boots. Arrow loves going Steam Boots, by the way.
Yeah.
He gets the full effectiveness out of them. He Steam Boots swaps a lot, and and you'll see him cast all his spells on in Boots right there. And he switches it back. Now he switches it to Agility to attack the creeps on. Switches it back to... I mean, if you're watching it right now, he does it like constantly. And that kind of thing should be praised and applauded. And I really hope that a lot of players learn from that, because it really does make a difference in the long run. But anyway, the Helm of the Black Legion pickup, it's very good. I mean, he's going to give him a lot of health, a lot of sustainability in team fights. And basically, I think Fnatic's thinking is, if we can survive the jump, we'll be fine. And so we have, tanky items being purchased. And now, actually, No Tail is hoarding up 2,200. So I'm actually very curious to see if he goes like Whispering Helm or just a straight Shrunken Head.
Yeah.
Or maybe something different. Maybe just a Bulwarker.
I was going to say, it is No Tail, and he does do some strange things from time to time. So we'll see what No Tail ends up going with here on Malakin. Now, I was actually watching some triple stacked Ancients when we were talking about Monkey King a little bit here on the Legion side. 2 notes to make of that. Glacius did use his Glacial Downpour to even assist for the kills to kind of help out a little bit. But also Silhouette pretty much got all of it, of course, and his GPM just continuing to rise. Bubbles at the bottom lane going to get completely collapsed on here, and 0 TPs coming in, so a free kill coming out for the Legion team. And, I mean, nothing Trixie could do. An Invisible Tempest, a Silhouette, what is he going to do right there? Absolutely nothing, as we saw. And so a nice, good, well-executed kill at the same time, though, coming out from Trademark Esports. But again, look at Silhouette. She's just past the 500 gold per minute mark. Yeah. These camps are being stacked, triple stacked Ancients. I mean, the support's doing fantastic. And you got to think Fane on Glacius, a big part of that. Already another 2,100 gold saved up. So Silhouette really starting to take off in this game here.
Yeah, I mean, tdM is playing a very great game this game. Actually, Insanitarius picked up on Malakin. So it's a Portal Key now finished, I guess it's picked up. On Silhouette there. tdM is playing their game, and they're playing it very well. Limp is especially playing very good. I've been watching him a lot lately, and he's been making some very good decisions. A lot of players, they'll feel like they have to ult out of Fade's ultimate to get the full effectiveness out of it, but sometimes it's better to just stun, and that's what he's doing.
We see that was the middle tower actually going out in favor of the Legion team. Bubbles was there to attempt to deny it, but again, Limp doing a good job burning Shadow Stun, but we do see some initiation. Malakin ultimate form activated. Sanitarius is up. Silhouette, though, getting away. He does have that portal key if he finds it necessary to come back in, but Plague Rider going to be picked off. as the Plague Q wasn't even used. But Malkin gets turned around, and you see the burst damage that they can put out here on the Legion team, especially with that silhouette. Turning things around. Monkey King now getting caught, and this could be another big kill. Glacial Dapper going to come out. What a tree grapple from Silhouette with that Portal Key. Takes out Pyromancer. Monkey King is chasing, but Monkey King will fall, and Fade going to help take out Bubbles on top of that. So Fnatic Recall falling apart here in this fight, but I definitely think Trademark Esports deserves more of the credit for playing very, very well in that team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, that was kind of like everything was so clustered in, and I really disagree with No Tail running in there hastily. Get it? And yeah, no, but there's just a lot of stuns, and Limp is hitting these stuns over and over. I mean, he's not missing, and I gotta give the MVP out right now to him. And he is really carrying this team, and you know, Noob G is doing a fantastic job. Well, actually, really everyone on this team is doing very well. It's unfortunate though that Plague did not get the ultimate off. That's a huge key factor in these team fights, and you got to wonder if, like, say if they did lose that team fight for some reason and he didn't get it off. I mean, that's a huge spell, and the thing is that when you're a Plague that has an important spell like that, you got to think in the mindset of the other team, like, okay, what are they saying when they're initiating these fights? Yo, they're probably saying kill Plague before he gets his ultimate off. So, I mean, that's what they're probably saying, and they did it right. And sometimes you just can't do anything about it because, you know, when they have blinks and kelp fields and stuff like that, you just can't dodge it. But you know, I would try to position yourself really far back in, because that Plague ultimate is going to be really effective in these fights.
Now that's a glass half empty perspective. Now a glass half full perspective from TDM. They cleaned up that fight without a Plague Rider ultimate. So now imagine if they get the ultimate off, just how much more damage they can do with it, and you know how much more victorious they can be in those fights, I guess, weird way to put it. But anyway, so, yeah, again, just another way to kind of look at that situation. Glacius, actually, oh, my God, he's in a, look at him, he's in a little bit of trouble. They don't even know he's here. He's going to kind of sneak out. He puts a freeze on it for Silhouette is nearby. Glacius almost toying with them here. He's going to go for a port. Calfield going to be his, even the Malakin ultimate, wow. They did not want Fang getting out of there, and, well, mission accomplished, but they used a couple of ultimates to make sure of it. So, you know, in the end, that's not the worst thing for TDM, but still.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah, not the biggest deal, but poor Glacius does die there to Trixie, who actually picks up a kill. So that's going to be good for him, considering he is, before that, he was 0-5-1. He is now 1-5-1. So he has been struggling, and it's unfortunate. I mean, he did get pitted up against a very hard lane in Silhouette. I mean, there's really nothing you can do, Bubbles versus Silhouette in your long lane. It's just his attack damage and his, you know, his movement from the tree grapple just makes things so difficult, as well as the Death Lotus does so much damage. Yeah. So good job there by Noob G. He's really keeping the pressure on this game. He's now 535 gold per minute, and he's saved anything else to do. I think he is going to go for the Drunken Head. So yes, yes, that's going to be such a great pickup.
The Trout seal of approval. If he finishes that, he'll officially have it, and he'll be a happy camper. You see Fade right there. Now, interesting thing, the Warlock is chasing, so I wonder if Fade realized that and maybe saw that, okay, they can see me somehow. There's probably a Ward of Revelation around here. So he quickly turned around and was heading to the middle lane. And actually, Monkey King, if Monkey King goes on this lane a little bit, maybe try to farm, then he may be in a little bit of trouble. Silhouette Portal Keys away, however. So, and the ultimate from Fade wearing off. So Monkey King should be able to farm this up freely here in the middle lane. And speaking of MK, he does have an Arcana picked up. So I would assume that that is going to turn into a Hellflower here for our Monkey King player, of course, being played by Era. You like the Hellflower choice?
Kind of. I feel like maybe they're waiting for a bulwark from Malakin. Maybe they discussed that, they want Malakin to get a bulwark. But I think an early bulwark pickup on Monkey King does so well, because there's most of his damage, especially from the vault and his dash, is physical. And whereas Shield Breaker, you actually have to hit them once before they get the negative armor applied. You don't have to do that at all with bulwark. It's just applied if you have it on negative. So I really like the bulwark pickup on Monkey King. I feel like it's quite standard. I would have liked to see that before anything like a Hellflower. But Hellflower, obviously, is still a very, very powerful item, and it's going to be really good. I think their thinking is to go on, obviously, something like a Tempest before they can start a team fight, because Tempest is going to be very key in these team fights, who now has picked up a Tablet of Command, along with a Ring of Sorcery, Steam Boots, and he's got 1,800 gold pulled up, so maybe we'll see a Portal Key, or maybe just a Shrunken Head.
Yeah, we'll see what Tempest decides to do. Of course, Shrunken Head, we saw the other day, just yesterday, in fact, how important that item can be on a Tempest. So we'll see if maybe my nuts go something different here. Goes the more typical route, which is that for a reason. Silhouette, though. Silhouette's level 16. I had the XPM chart up for a minute, in fact, pulling it back up here. I mean, again, Silhouette not only in gold per minute, but experience per minute, just dominating this game right now. Of course, again, being played by Noob G for Trademark Esports. He already has another 2,400 gold saved up, so again, our guess is going to go over to 2,900 and then eventually purchase that Shrunken Head to finish it off, already having the Mighty Blade, of course. So our Hellborn team, you know, perhaps that's their timetable, really, in terms of when tdM is going to start to play really aggressive and start going even for some base pushing when it's all said and done. So, you know, finishing in our Arcana Monkey King, going for the next item of choice on Malik, and whatever it may be. You know, you talked about the Soul's Bulwark. Maybe it's going to be an option on him, or maybe it's going to be something different. Still, with the Shrunken Head himself could be valuable. You got Pyromance, actually. He has a couple of Fortified Bracers, and then even an Amulet of the Exile. So, really going just a lot of mass minor stat items here to keep the early stats on, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to see at least a Striders on him if he's going to go for, you know, spend the 510 gold on those Fortified Bracers, and then the 485, I think it is, for the Talisman. But the Striders is such a very good pickup early on for supports who aren't getting really any farm, because they can just be so mobile around the map when they're not doing anything. And actually, big initiation coming on the Hani there, as we just talked about him, and he goes down basically immediately to the double portal key action from Limp and Noob G. So, ooh, this is not a fun game if your support's on the Fnatic side of things.
Well, you know, you can kind of see why he has the 2 Fortified Bracers, but still, even with them, it's just not even nearly. And he just got bursted down there in what seemed like even only a second. So, 3,600 gold now until that, of course, the top tower being pushed down in the meantime. 3,000 gold on Tempest. So we talked about him, whether or not it's going to be a portal key next or that Shrunken Head. So at this rate, looks to be more of the Shrunken Head. But, of course, 25 minutes into the game as well. And although tdM has a good lead, you know, thinking about buybacks when you start advancing more and more towards the base is a possibility, but at the same time, you know, items are always good too. But look at this, Silhouette going to go clean up a triple stacked Ancients here. She already has 4,000 gold, so it's just going to shoot up from there. In fact, there we go with the Shrunken Head finish, and she's going to have buyback money after cleaning up these Ancients even as well. So I really think this could be a prime time here for Trademark Esports to really pick up the aggression now and take it towards Fnatic, not giving them the opportunity to get their next big items, which, again, Malik and Monkey King doing a lot of pooling themselves, as well as Bubbles. Trixie trying his best to recover. He's working towards what I would guess to be a portal key as his next item, and he is close, but still not just there yet.
Yeah, Fnatic's definitely not out of this at all. I mean, Fnatic is a team that's very, very good with initiation. They're very good at catching teams off guard and then collapsing on them like that. And they can do that with kind of a burst lineup. Now, this isn't necessarily a burst lineup, but you do have Pyromancer with his ult. He is only level 7, but it's still a lot of damage. And then if they get the portal key on Trixie, and then, you know, Monkey King does a lot of damage as well, and he's almost got the health bar picked up. In fact, I think he needs like another 500 or so, 600 or so. But yeah, they're not out of it yet. This is why I think Malakin has kind of died off, and kind of not at the level of, like, say, Silhouette, Magebane, and TDL is. He doesn't farm as quickly. Now, he can farm stacks very quickly with that Whispering Helm, but he did not choose to go for Whispering Helm. Yeah. He did go for the Insanitarius. But in teamfights, he just gets kind of, like, snared too easily. Like, if there's too many stuns on the enemy team, and a lot of teams are drafting stuns now, he just kind of, like, doesn't do anything in teamfights. He just kind of sits there and tries to auto-attack, and if they run away, well, it's like, I'm screwed. I can't do anything anymore because they just ran away from me. And heroes like Magebane and Silhouette and Darkblade, they're much more mobile in teamfights. They have charges. They have, you know, a necessity to get blink. Yeah. They have, and then Magebane has his own built-in blink. So, you know, I think Malkin's still good, but he's just not quite on the level of these carry heroes that we're seeing picked up so often.
You see at the top lane, Fade was sitting there waiting for an opening point as she was invis in the top jungle, but the Hellborn team just didn't give her that opportunity. Monkey King was pushing the button. Monkey King in a lot of trouble. Actually, the portal key's being used after porting in, and Monkey King will end up falling right here. And Nifarian trying to port out. No, he cancels it at the last second. Maybe it still had another second or two, but that could have been pretty epic. But Fly will also go down, so Trademark Esports making a statement here in the middle lane. Glacius catching Malakin. The Glacial downpour going down. Tempest is beyond. Look at Malakin running from a Glacius. That's when you know it's really bad. He's in a lot of trouble. Tempest ultimate to lock him down, and Malakin will fall. Trademark Esports still has all 5 alive. The only survivor is Trixie on Bubbles. Now Malakin can buy back, as can Monkey King, but that would mean spending all of that gold that they've had pulled up to save for their next big item. So this is a big decision time here for Fnatic Raid Call, as we're only at the 28-minute mark now.
I know. TdM is playing damn good right now. I mean, they're playing like they've done their homework,
Yeah.
done their research, and they're playing like they want it. Really, I mean, Fnatic is at the same time. Not to knock them a little bit, but it seems like they're not quite on their game. It's not that like the Fnatic we're used to really seeing, and you know, maybe they are a little out of practice, and maybe it takes one game or so to kick up the ass and get them back into shape. But man, not to take anything from tdM, they are playing fantastically.
Yeah, they're looking really good this game, and they may get some melee racks right here now. They may not want to overstay their welcome at the same time, but no, screw that. They're going to take out Monkey King. They're going to finish the melee racks most likely. Now, Monkey King can buy back. Okay, he does buy back now. First time was just waiting for the resurrection, so he does finally buy back. Malikan ports in, so Monkey King is ready to go. Is this going to be enough? Malikan ultimate activated. Monkey King jumping in. The Plague is beating himself, and the Plague is doing a lot of damage. It does bounce over the creep wave at the last second. That'll be a big deal. But Silhouette standing her ground. We have a level 20 Silhouette just wrecking face in the base. GGs are being called. And it looks like Trademark Esports will officially take Game 1 here against Fnatic Raid Call in this best out of 3. Who saw that coming, man?
I'm just grinning ear to ear. I'm just so happy. I mean, I knew from the beginning, too, the draft that tdM had was just, it was really solid. I talked about how I really like Plague Suicide, and even though it felt like Plague didn't do all that much, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but there's things in the background that are going on, and it's really the fact that you have the deny, and the Plague is such an important hero for that top lane, and it really kind of slows down a little bit of farm for the enemy hero that's in that lane, or sorry, the enemy carry, I should say. And you're mentioning, like, comparing Monkey King's farm to Silhouettes. I mean, those denies do play a role. I mean, those are creeps, obviously, that you cannot get, and so that makes a difference, and obviously the Plague Ultimate is very good, but, you know, the Suicide Plague Rider, very strong. The dual lane mid with the Fade and Glaciers, I told you that Minus loves to pick Fade, and they play it well. It pays off, and obviously the Silhouette, they knew coming into this match that Bubbles was going to go Suicide bottom, and so, you know, they put a strong lane against it solo and were able to win against it. So they played really well. They drafted well. Kudos to them.
Yeah, very deserving of the victory, and Fnatic has their work cut out for this. Not often you're going to say that, but Fnatic Raid Call going into game number 2. They're down 1-0, of course. And again, they have their work cut out for them. How will they respond here against Trademark Esports? Not too often they find themselves in a deficit like this, down 1 game to nothing in a best.